I hope I'm connected here. It's live from the this morning the parking lot. I'm parked way here in the boondocks because there's one tree here that I'm under the shade of. It's forecast to be 108 today, but we're shopping. We're at Home Depot, and we've just been to yard sales and other things. But does that stop me? No, the show must go on. Even with a turkey that you know will fold. Anyway, it's Saturday morning cartoons, and there will actually be some cartoons. And I want this to go especially to Hunter McFarlane, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Hunter. You old you're a Prince of Wands. I knew a couple of Prince of Wands. I'm sure you're a better person. Anyway, happy birthday, Hunter. And I guess we'll get on with the day. Yesterday, I started reading from my 1982 diary, which in which I was I had the opportunity to take almost 2 months off regular work. I was running, Constance and I were running a very active lodge of OTO at the time, but I could stay home. Not only that, I had to stay home because I had suffering a back injury and all of the nightmare that goes with recuperating from that. And so I decided to go on a 49-day a magical retirement because I was getting ready to take the next step in my, I guess, formal magical career at the time, my personal degree work. And well, I explained it yesterday. I had our lodge temple room, which is a very nice, huge room, single room, mostly empty. We brought in chairs and altars and stuff for events. But for the most part, it was a very austere, large room with a fireplace on one end and a large wall-sized sliding glass door on the outside, and another exit that exited out to an enclosed patio area, which for the purpose of my daily routines, I had drawn in colored chalk the magic circle and triangle, the thelemic magic circle. So it was about 9 foot in diameter with the Tau cross all chalked in. It was a proper magical circle, and I could do yoga and I'd set out a protocol that every week I would increase my disciplines in length and intensity, building up to a grand climactic moment. Now, I was doing various magic degree work that's usually associated with the most esoteric, personal. I just got a message there. I hope I'm still broadcasting. And so a lot of things might not make sense, but I read to you the first week's protocol yesterday, and today I'm going to read the second week, and hopefully it won't take too long. And I showed you little pieces of my diary, okay, as I go along. Now, at the beginning of each of the weeks, I drew a little angel, which is one of the 7 heads of the beast of Revelation, and those are the head of an angel, the head of a saint, the head of a poet, head of an adulterous woman, a head of a man of valor, and head of a satyr, and the head of a lion serpent. And at each step, you'll see at the beginning of each week, we'll do one of those things. And so now we're on the beginning of week 2, and this would be the head of a saint. Okay, she's starting up there. Next, let the breath, this is from AHA, there's seven steps of an initiatory process. Next, let the breath rhythm be low, easy, regular, and slow, so that thy being be in tune with the great sea's Pacific swoon. The 8th day, April Fools. This is 1982. 8 p.m., weight 209 pounds. Nose plugged. We'll take a hot shower to clear it before yoga and pranayama. Yoga, and this is the program for this following week here. 2-week program, 4 cycles and plus. Doing the plow, the shoulder stand, and something here, I can't even know what I'm talking, it looks like STEMCon, and 15 minutes of pranayama. The reading, the daily reading, is from the 2nd chapter of Liber 7. So at 8 a.m., pranayama before open door, raining outside, full of prana. 11 minutes in the full lotus. Lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. 1:45 p.m. yoga, 4 cycles, pranayama 10 minutes. Have advanced the plow pose, this is a yoga pose. Have advanced the plow pose to the halasan variation 2, which is touching toes to the hands. 2:15 p.m. Liber 5 twice. That's the pentagram ritual regula. At 3 p.m., 45 minutes later, what I call Liber Het enactment. Okay, now this is a meditation based on visualization of literally enacting in my mind, acting out the Liber Het. Okay, this is the secret of the Holy Grail. Okay, so not only am I repeating it and studying it, I'm visualizing, I'm giving it visual form and visualizing it. And at the end of that meditation, I've got a thing that says consecration of the wand, and my wand is a length of almond wand that I've written about a lot. And as it is my will to advance to the next degree, it is my will to expand and everything else, I'm reconsecrating the wand sort of at the climax of my Liber Het visualization. So I hope I won't have to explain that again. I'm at a busy street here. 5:30 p.m. What a day. The sun is out and there are beautiful rainbows. But I'm hungry. It's easier to fast than it is to eat only what Constance gives me. Breakfast was a mini bowl of granola, and I spelled it bowel, and Phyllis in her marginal notes corrects my spelling. Breakfast was a mini bowl of granola with a dash of milk. Lunch was an orange. Dinner will be baked squash with no butter, some veggie protein of some kind, and but all small portions. Ugh! Next day, this is the 9th day of the thing, moon in Leo, Mercury trine Jupiter. 8 a.m., weight 207.5 pounds, back and neck very stiff. Yoga, 4 cycles, pranayama, 25 minutes. Much sweat. Beautiful day, pranayama on the patio. Music helps my pranayama. 5 additional minutes in full lotus just to enjoy the silence. Much bliss this morning. This feels like the zenith of an Isis cycle. All magical procedures and all phases of your life go in 3 phases. The Isis phase, where there's pure enjoyment of the work. You go in and it's wonderful. Then there's the Apophis cycle, which is everything just goes to shit, and the dark night of the soul, all of that. And then there's the Osiris cycle, where there's a dawning of an epiphany. The sun comes up. So I'm saying here that this is the zenith of an Isis cycle. Note, my dreams have been unusual. Should I bore you with my dreams of 41 years ago? Okay, I'll do it. Dreams have been unusual. On the 31st, I was in a huge monastery, or lamasery, where I was moved from one large room to another and given strange tests. Not tests of my intelligence or spirituality, but incomprehensible ones, like people who have been picked up by UFOs described. In one room, the last test, I think, 2 monks simply smelled my arms. After which I was dressed in a very stiff, heavy bishop's robe. On the evening of the April 1st, I dreamed of my old high school, always a romantic dream of old high school experience. So I won't bore you with that. But it wasn't, a succubus-y kind of thing. Okay, Phyllis mentions in her thing, UFOs may be a reference to the incomprehensible matters of life. That you must listen to this unknown type of experience may be symbolic of wider horizons to be gained. When something is wrong, a slang term is it stinks. This smelling was obviously not stinky. Therefore, your unconscious is telling you that you are acting correctly. let's see, marks are associated monks are associated with monasteries, of course, and spiritual retirement, which you were on. That's what Phyllis had to say about that. Okay. 2 p.m. Same day, 2 p.m. Just returned from 6-mile walk. And of course, I'm wearing a kind of a heavy back brace. Neck very sore. During the walk, remembered dream of last night or night before. I dreamed I was lifeless and being born by angels. I was in a blanket and there was one angel at each corner. Even though I was lifeless, I remember thinking that habitual use of the Liber Het meditation really works, because there's reference to you're born up in a sheet that hath 4 corners. Okay. 3 p.m. Lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram, including the portal opening. Boy, someone's smoking some really good smelling grass. Oh, we called it grass in the old days. Okay. I don't do that stuff anymore, but I'm happy to park next to it. Okay. Recitation of the Anthem of the Mass. I just did that spontaneously. Thou who art high beyond all I am, who hast no nature, no name, who art when all but thou art gone. Okay. So a Liber Het enactment with the wand consecration. Recitation of the Anthem of the Mass spontaneously before the newly consecrated Grail. Now I have my magic Grail in the very center of my altar top, a 49-petaled rose, with my host underneath the stem of the cup. Wonderful. It was the first real invocation I ever performed. I memorized a lot of them, but that was the first one I actually celebrated. Okay. Note, all my pranayamas are on the patio, are done in that chalk circle I was telling you about, and I'm sitting on the Malkuth Square. April 3rd, 1982, 6 a.m., up, 208 pounds. My stiff neck was very bad all night. The pain kept me from sleep. 7 a.m., yoga, 4 cycles. No shoulder stand this morning, or plow because of my neck. Other yoga, very poor, much pain. Pranayama on the patio, 30 minutes. 4 plows are fully, 2 plows fully. Neck a little better with the same, with the morning sun shining on my neck. Felt a little better. My asana was a full lotus for 11 minutes. 12 noon, neck somewhat better. Sunned myself for about 40 minutes. 1 p.m., yoga, 4 cycles, and plus 2 plows. Neck considerably better. Lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram. 1:30 p.m., that Liber Het enactment meditation and wand consecration. Mass from the anthem. Consecration. Then I did the Mass anthem again. Excellent visualization of Babylon's golden cup. 2 p.m. pranayama, 10 minutes. Phyllis commented in the thing, I really appreciate you naming the yogic exercise program. April 4th, This the 11th day, moon in Virgo, and its moon's also trine Uranus and conjunct Venus. Up 5:45 a.m., 208 pounds. Yoga, 4 cycles and plow and asanas under consideration for week 3 program. In other words, I'm getting ready for week 3. Head, knee, bow, fish. Those are names of poses. 7 a.m., beautiful morning, reading chapter 2 of Libra 7, pranayama in the patio, sunshine, 31 minutes. Full lotus, asana, 16 minutes. 11:45 a.m., sunned myself, front and back, mantra, thou that art I, beyond all I am, who hast no nature and no name. Okay, that. Full lotus asana, 11 minutes, too hot. The kisses of the day star rain hard upon my body. Lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram. And I also experimented with portal openings using the active and passive spirit pentagrams. 12:30 p.m., Libra Het enactment and wand consecration. Wand, my wand has taken on a blue-green, almost neon aura. And there's the next day's picture of me doing pranayama. And it's now I'm now completing the second week, and you see my hair and beard are starting to grow back. And I'm holding a watch there in one hand and my nose in the other. Now it gets personal, okay, of my everyday life. I've just been informed that my disability insurance has run out. Unless I can prove permanent disability to the Social Security Administration, I'll need to reopen my unemployment claim with the doctor's note saying I can't bend, stoop, lift, make awkward motions. The only thing I can do is sit. I asked the Yi Ching, should I pursue the unemployment insurance being so disabled? How do I proceed? Okay, then, really, and I do a total analysis, a painful one for several days, or for several pages here on this thing. I'm just going to tell us that the first hexagram was hexagram 52, which is keeping still the mountain. Okay, it's Earth of Earth. That would be the princess of discs. The lowest of the low, the very active. The princess of discs is the most magical of the cards because she represents a complete, total, absolute end of a cycle. And it is from the princess of discs that from her Malkuth, she has to jumpstart the universe, or jumpstart the cycle all the way back to the Knight of Wands. Okay, so she's Earth of Earth that has to initiate the miracle of starting again at Fire of Fire. And Fire of Fire is the Knight of Wands, and it just so happens that the Yi Ching method that I used was the Yarrow stocks, which is capable of giving you 6 moving lines. Well, I didn't get 6 moving lines, but I got 4 moving lines. And when those lines are moved, keeping still the princess of discs turns into fire of fire, the arousing shock. So the hexagram that I drew concerning this thing was the lowest of the low, which is keeping still, turning into the arousing, the shock, the thunder. Okay. So that's all I'm going to talk about that. Okay. 11:15 p.m. have discovered Tannhäuser on the radio, meditation on the overture. Liber Yod was my meditation, part 2, which is the second method. And Liber HHH, part 2, AAA. But the Liber Yod was the Vesta, a couple of Vesta meditations, where this particular one that I was doing was where you imagine your own death and disintegration and decomposition, and it's a death it's a classic Buddhist death meditation. I left one shell after another. I just kept dying more and more subtly, finally leaving formless shells of fantastic lights. When there were no more shells, there was only empty. But when I hit empty, I expanded infinitely and felt great movement. Breath stopped, obviously momentarily. April 5th, 5:45 a.m., 207 pounds. Fasting, 12 hours so far. Yoga, 4 cycles, neck still prohibitive. Good plow, high clouds, and it's cool on the patio. Pranayama, 1 hour and 16 minutes. And even I said, wow. I will change pranayama cycle on Thursday. In other words, increase the intensity of the cycle. 4 p.m., fasting 24 hours. Continued, just returned from a 6-mile walk. April 6th, 7 a.m., up 206 pounds. Yay, I lost a pound. Fasting for 48 hours, or for 40 hours. Continuing neck, continuing. Neck, much better. Oh, when I say fasting 40 hours, and I say continuing, that means I haven't broken the fast yet. Okay. I got a good night's sleep. Yoga, 4 cycles and 4 plus 4 plows. Neck still not flexible for good plows. Note on the sun cycle. I still cannot touch my forehead to my knees. Pranayama, 1 hour. Much sweat. Beautiful sunny morning on the patio is alive with bees. Doves are freely hewing. The worst thing about doing pranayama for an hour or more is that, in all caps, I have to pee. Full lotus asana, 15 minutes. Right foot and leg asleep. Experiment in the graduated pranayama, which is just going to come up in the next week. Liber E, part 4, number 5. Okay, and here's the pranayama cycle. Right nostril in, 10 seconds. Hold for 30 seconds. Left nostril out, 20 seconds. And then reverse that. Left in for 10, hold for 30, right out for 20. I did it for 5 minutes and it was easy to perform. I will most likely begin that cycle for the 3rd week. which starts day after tomorrow. At 1 p.m. I took another trip to the unemployment office. I was remarkably calm. Look, I'd been fasting, and I returned home 5 p.m. fasting 48 hours, continuing. Here's the analysis of the I Ching hexagram, keeping still the mountain. Things cannot move continuously. One must make them stop. Hence, there follows the hexagram of keeping still. Okay, let me cut to the chase here. Oh, even the I Ching says, he goes into his courtyard and does not see his people. No blame. Then I just say, as usual, the I Ching told me more than I wanted to hear. I take this to mean the program of retirement within the world and the indication that it is most likely just what the doctor ordered. And then I talk about each of those 4 moving lines. When it changes to shock, I say, shock brings success. Shock comes. Oh, laughing words, ha ha. The I Ching actually says ha ha. Okay, next day, April 7th, 7 a.m. up, fasting 62 hours. Continuing neck much better, still a bit of pain. 205 pounds. Yoga, 5 cycles, plus 5 plows, 5 cobras, and I'm investigating the spinal twist asana. The new yoga pranayama program begins tomorrow. 8:30 a.m., out to my courtyard. 2 minutes of 10 in, 30 hold, 20 out is very difficult. Yesterday I had an hour of 10, 10, 20 under my belt. I'll start with the old cycle until I calm myself down. Pranayama, 5 minutes, 10, 10, 20, and 5 is difficult. 10, 30, 20. Did I expect to change the program and avoid starting over? 5 more minutes with 10, 30, 20 in full lotus. Perhaps the fast is starting to weaken me a bit. Attempt to concentrate upon a red triangle. And this is a red descending triangle. It's more than a fire triangle. In full lotus. Not bad for a long time. The only breaks were of self-congratulatory nature. In other words, I'm trying to hold the image of the red triangle in my mind to the exclusion of all other thoughts. And when I find myself doing that, I stop just doing that, and I congratulate myself by saying inwardly, oh wow, I've been doing that for a long time. That's a break. All the breaks are of a self-congratulatory nature. Okay, then Constance and I take a trip to the beach. Now, I don't think we even had a working car at the time. So we walked 3/4 of a mile to the bus, and the bus took us to within 3/4 of the mile of the beach. So 3/4 of a mile bus to beach, then 3/4 of a mile beach to bus, then 3/4 of a mile bus to home. And then we took a round trip walk 2 miles to Golden Dragon. That's our favorite Chinese restaurant. 5 total miles. Broke fast with Chinese food after 72 hours. Full moon. April 8th, High Holy Day. Number 1. 7 a.m., 206 pounds. Here's the 3rd week yoga program. Adoration cycle, 5 cycles. Plow, 5 cycles. Cobra, 5 cycles. Attempt at variation 3, 5 cycles. Head, knee, 5 cycles. Wrist to toe, plus alternating spinal twist, or at least the cautious attempt because of my back situation. And 5 minutes upside down. The asana from now on will be full lotus. Pranayama, 10 in, 30 hold, 20 out. Yoga, 3rd week program, neck almost better, shoulder stand, only 3 minutes. Pranayama in full lotus, which will be standard procedure until further notice. 10 minutes of the new pranayama cycle, very difficult. 15 minutes in asana, concentration on the red triangle, good. But mostly the triangle looks something like that. And tomorrow we will start with the 3rd week. And we got a little character, little man with a 666 on his forehead. That's the poet. Anyway, there's that. Now, I know that was a lot to listen to, but I hope at least Hunter McFarlane heard the whole thing, because it's your birthday, kid. The most important holiday of the year, next to the High Holy Day of Longtober. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. I hope to be right on time for Sunday school. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love's the law, love under will.